He came down to eat with the does. And honest to goodness, here's the truth about it, I was shaking so bad I don't know how I ever hit him. But it was just luck.
Jerry Hill has had his fair share of luck, but that luck was tempered with a good deal of experience in the field. You don't grow up in rural West Virginia without knowing how to hunt.
I first started hunting when I was 15, 16 years old. That's been my life, is hunting and fishing. I love to do it.
So it figures that when a giant buck was spotted around Wyoming County, West Virginia, Jerry was obsessed, and a dream was started that would take several years to fulfill.
I first seen him in 1983, and I hunted the deer from that moment on until I killed him. I didn't think about any other deer. That was the deer that I wanted. Everybody seen him. They called him the Wyoming County Monster, you know.
Yeah, everybody had seen the buck. But seeing him was not a problem. Access was. Twin Falls State Park is one of the jewels of West Virginia's park system. It's a paradise for wildlife. And as in the case with all West Virginia state parks, hunting is strictly forbidden. Jerry Hill's small farm bordered the park.
He stayed in this area all the time, in and out of the park. I mean, now whenever the hunting pressure got on him, whenever he would go to the park and stay. It's just so simple to see the reason that the deer went so many years. People just pushed him back in this park, and he had no reason to come back out, because back then there was still plenty of food.
The hunting pressure on the private lands surrounding the park was enormous. To make matters worse, in the summer of 1985, Jerry and a neighbor got some field photos of the Wyoming County Monster. There's nothing like a little unintended publicity to keep the hunting pressure pot on boil.
We had people who come in here and come to my house, and I just own 2.5 acres here. Then they'd want to hunt here. I said, I can't give you permission to hunt in my backyard.
Jerry had an opportunity in 1985, but his shot sailed wide. Then, in a conversation with a local game warden, Hill learned some surprising information. In West Virginia, feeding deer on private land is permitted.
The game warden told me, he said, why don't you put you some feed out? And I thought, well, why? He said, if you'd had a feeder out, said you'd have got that deer. And so we started feeding them then, you know.
Having seeded a little rock pile on his property with apples and corn, Jerry put himself into position, and eventually the Wyoming County Monster came in for the groceries.
It was probably 35, 40 minutes before he ever picked up the nerve to come down there. And whenever he did, he walked right by me. He didn't pay no attention to me whatsoever. Whenever I released the arrow, I don't know, I couldn't have told you where it went to. I just know I hit him, and I hit him good, because he went down on his front feet, and he managed to get back up. There was a good blood trail, and we thought he was going up there and die.
It wasn't quite that simple. The deer managed to get up and struggle back into the sanctuary of the park.
I got a decent shot on him, but he made it out of there whenever I shot him, and he went back over into the park. And it took me till way up into the next day to find him. Right there's the high point from my house All right, I was telling you where the deer was at. There's a little field right in this right through here that's level. And I had a tree stand right in that little gully right there. And the deer laid right there and died.
With the frenzied mood of the hunting community and the proximity to the park, rumors raged. But a quick investigation by the state game officials determined that the buck had been shot on private land. Scoring 212 1/8, Jerry Hill had taken the West Virginia archery record whitetail. It remains the state record to this day.
That deer's just a once-in-a-lifetime deer. He was very smart, and but the year that I killed him, I just think I outsmarted him, you know.
And now Jerry Hill's Wyoming County Monster and the world's other great whitetail trophies are available to the public as part of Bass Pro Shop's King of Bucks collection.
I am tickled to death that Bass Pro has gotten and people can see what there is in this state that can be hunted. And if you're not a lazy hunter, come to West Virginia. You'll find some big deer. But you can't sit in the truck. You got to get out and hunt.